Switch statement is another conditional statement. Just like if-else statement, switch statement also allows you to create expressions and then execute a certain block of code based on the outcome of those expressions. However, there's a slight difference. Switch statement allows you to write expressions which can result in a Boolean value, but it also allows you to write expressions which result in a number or string. So that is a slight difference between switch and if-else condition. Now the expression which you write in your switch is basically once it's evaluated, the outcome of that expression is then matched to each of the cases which are defined inside the switch block. And once a matching case is found, then the associated block of code is executed. Now if you don't understand what I've just said, I will give you a small example which would clarify the concept a bit more. So let's say we have a variable with the name of color, and I will give it a value of blue. So here we have a variable now, and now I will enter this entire switch statement. You can say it as switch block as well. And the syntax starts from switch, the keyword, and then inside the first set of brackets you can define your expression. It can be a function call resulting in a value, or it can be a variable holding a specific kind of value, and this value can be a string, it can be a number, it can be a Boolean value. In this specific case, the variable holds a string. And after that you have this entire block, and in that block you have all the different kind of code blocks which can potentially execute on the basis of the value which this color variable is holding. So the way it works is that the value inside this variable is going to be matched by the values for each of these cases, and then the associated code block is going to be executed. So color has a value of blue which is not equal to black, so this is going to be ignored, and then it'll move on to the second case, and now we found a matching value, so this block of code is going to be executed. Now the reason why we have a break over here is that we want to basically come out of this entire block. If we don't have a break, we would still be able to execute this code block, but the switch statement will try to match the value of the variable to any of the cases further defined inside the block. So it will try to match the value of color with the case red, and so on and so forth, which seems redundant since we have found a matching case in the form of string blue. So that is how it basically works. And another thing which I would like to highlight is this default section, and what it means is that if color has a value which doesn't have a matching case, then the default is going to be executed in that scenario. If you don't have a default, then it would exit the entire block without executing any piece of code inside the cases. So now I'll just quickly run just to demonstrate the outcome, and I would be expecting that selected color is blue is going to be printed out. So I'll press enter and I can see that selected color blue is printed out. Now let me quickly just change the color to a different value. Let's say I assign it a value of green. And if I run the switch statement again, and you can see the default case is printed out, and this makes sense because green is not present in any of these cases. So the default is going to be printed out as a result. If we have a slightly different switch which doesn't have a default, let's say, so I'm just going to remove this default section, and now if I try to, in fact, let me just try to do it again one more time. Yeah, so now when I'm trying to execute this code block, it gives me undefined because there is no matching case for green, plus there is no default section, so it's not going to print out anything. If had there been a default section, as in the case of this previous example, we can see that default case is printed out. So that was basically an overview of switch statement, how it works, and how different sections defined, different cases defined, what's the significance of default and break.